Hello everyone. Um, this will probably be one of the last videos that I post on my sketch for the 2 point. I just wanted to leave you with a few reminders and pointers. So first off, I just kind of want to show you what I've achieved since the last video. I went ahead and put in all of the siding on my house. And I think it gets a little easier because you don't have to draw all the way to the vanishing point. Just line up your ruler and you can just draw, stop, and then pick up again. You don't have to go all the way to your vanishing point anymore. And depending on what you are drawing yourself, it does start to get just a little tricky. As you can see here, I have the railing for my deck, and then I have the planks for the deck, for the flooring, and then I have a fence, a privacy fence that's back over here. And it does start to get a little tricky when you have to start kind of layering these little structures, because you have one thing that's going to this vanishing point over here, but then you have this structure that's lining up with this vanishing point all the way over there, and then this one, these horizontal lines for the railing, they all have to line up with this vanishing point over here. So you're always going back and forth, just trying to figure out which direction is this supposed to be going, and just making sure everything looks accurate. So I just wanted to show you how I drew all of these. So if you have, a fence or railing also, depending on the direction that it's kind of pointing, it does start to get a little tricky. So pretty much these horizontal lines will all kind of line up with these ones here, and then you just draw your vertical lines straight up and down, and then the planks for the flooring of the deck, my vanishing point is right in here. It's kind of being overtaken right now, but it's still there, and so I can still line it up. So then that looks, and it'll kind of also, follow all these horizontal lines as well. And then I put in my little sidewalk here, so this horizontal line will match up with this point over here, and then kind of the breaks in the concrete line up with this point over here. And so I hope this kind of applies to your sketches and kind of helps you out. I haven't quite started kind of personalizing my home with any of the trees yet. I will probably just post a picture of the final result. But I started putting in this kind of area, kind of marking off this area here. This is where the rocks and kind of some of those smaller plants, that's where those are at. And so I was just kind of marking it off, giving it a spot, getting the shape placed down, and then I'll go back and kind of soften the edges a bit, round it off to make it look more like the curbing, and then I'll fill it in with some rocks. And I'm so sorry guys, I hope you can hear me. It's really loud out here outside. And then right here, this is where my patio meets the grass. So I'm just kind of marking that off here. And again, this line, I lined it up with my vanishing point over here. So then I'll go back and, you know, fill in some grass. I'll put in that lilac tree there at the end, and just draw some of these shapes of the stones there. And then I'm thinking I might just put my fireplace right there. I might just stick that in here. And so when I'm personalizing my house, I'm not doing every little detail, and I don't expect you to do the same for yours. The main point of this assignment is mainly just to understand how to understand the 2-point idea, the technique, and just how to build a structure the correct way. Another thing that I wanted to give you some advice on, I talked about again last time about when you go to shade some of your structures. Today's not a real sunny day, so some of the shading will be a bit difficult to see. But when the sun is shining, it's coming from over here. And so in order to make these kind of posts stand out and make it look like it's 3D instead of a flat shape, I'll shade a cast shadow behind each one of these posts. Because if the sun is coming from this direction, these posts are going to be blocking the light and will cast a shadow over here. And so I will go in and place all of the cast shadows in there, and it'll give this railing a bit more realistic, a more realistic feel, and 3D, I guess, shapes. And then I wanted to show you, so on the quiz we had, one of the questions was about hard edges and soft edges. So this is where we would kind of apply it. So the corner here on the window, this would be the hard edge. And so there is a slight difference, especially when the sun is shining. You will see that there's a difference in the shading from this side of the shape to this side. This side is a lot lighter because the sun is shining on this part, and then there's a slight shadow that is cast onto this side. And so when you're making all of your windows, doors, that is the concept that you will want to use, is making sure that you have the shading in the right places, so then it gives your structure more of a realistic feel, and it makes it more 3D. Let me see if there's anything else. I think just a simple tip is to, when you go to erase some of your lines, make sure you don't erase your vanishing points. It might become difficult to find the exact same point again if you accidentally erase it. So try to be careful not to lose any of your vanishing points. And until you are certain about your lines, try to draw lightly, so then you can easily go back and erase if you made a mistake somewhere, and then it's just a lot easier to get things in place, and then to go back and draw kind of a harsher line once you are certain that it's correct. So you can text me, email me, whatever, with questions. Send me your picture and I can give you some feedback on anything. But I'm gonna go ahead and just put in, a couple of my kind of more of my personal features, and then just do some shading like on the railing and around the windows. And that'll be it, and I'll post a picture of the final product.